And we'll come back for the kick-off now. And conditions here very, very, very slippery indeed. So the Englishman should be at home. Plenty of defence going in already. And the first penalty of the match has gone to the President's 13. Ward was the offender. Alexander kicking for touch. Well, Jack, this rain has not let up all day, and conditions there will chop up pretty quickly.
Well, it seems to be fairly solid underfoot. He's picked up plenty of yards on that little scamper. Even though there's plenty of water there, they seem to be gripping all right.
Well, there was a game played here earlier, and the ground started to chop up. But you can see underfoot there, it's pretty sloshy. Here's Gavin Miller. He opens up with a good burst and makes 4 or 5. The defence of Great Britain comes in pretty quickly. Fennick there at dummy half. Ball goes out to Alexander, onto Florimo. And they find Bradley from the Penrith club. This is Truella, and makes a clean break. Truella too. Can he link up? He looks like he can. Yes, he can. First try for the President's 13 goes to Steve O'Brien after some good lead-up work from the Eastern Suburbs player. Not the start that Great Britain wanted, and Ford certainly laying down the law. Mick Cronin?
Well, it's definitely not the start. The game's been going about 2 minutes, and the President's 13 already got points on the board. I think it showed up their defence there. They've got a bit more enthusiasm there, otherwise this game could be an embarrassment to them too.
Mal Meninga, the big fella from Canberra, back in the side. Feel pretty comfortable playing here. Difficult kick though. It's virtually on the junction of the 22 on the sideline, as you can see. But the ball will get very heavy as the afternoon continues, so he gets plenty of distance, plenty of height. Waved away though. So the President's 13 leading Great Britain 4 points to 0. Paul Lachlan from the St Helens club. Restart play, and there's been some talk. Mal Meninga not very happy with St Helens after being snubbed after his broken arm. He was pretty keen to go back and play at St Helens, but at this stage they're not interested. So he'll have a bit to prove here this afternoon too. Right, Mario Fennick at dummy half. Runs from there. Mike Gregory in there with a player we haven't seen, John Joyner. The President's side starting to wind up. This is Lazarus from the Canberra club. And Eddie Ward will pack the scrum, and that'll pack midway between the quarter and a half on the President's 13 end of the ground. There's the front row. David Gillespie, Mario Fennick and Glenn Lazarus. Andy Gregory to feed for Great Britain. Great Britain ball goes out to Hume. The run around, Hume takes it back. A little lob pass over the top, loose ball though. Referee says play on, 6 to go. Gregory in a dummy half. Little run from there, looked to unload too, but there was no one there, and they're giving Gregory plenty of attention here. The little fella gets belted down, has a look too. Comes back for Ward. Oh, Ward with a crunching tackle and goes down hard too. That was Geyer. Great Britain dancing around in the mud, but not going too far at the moment.
Well, at least they've hung on to the ball. Previous to this, they couldn't work out a 6 tackle count.
Here's that incident again out of the penalty. Holding down the tackled player. And, Jack, that has become a blight in Sydney football of the last 2 or 3 months, hasn't it?
Well, it started to get out of hand in the test, and certainly in the second test and the first test, which spectator appeal, it loses a lot. It's not always an attraction to hold the player down, because it gives time also for the offensive team to get into formation as well as the defence. So up to a point, one counteracts the other to a certain amount.
This is Lachlan, Paul Lachlan from St Helens. We've seen him play at fullback in the two tests, playing in the centres today. The strong kick of the ball, he's really out in front. It's not difficult to kick, and he gets it too. So the score's changed now as the Presidents 13 leading 4. Mal Meninga getting set to restart play. Kicking the ball very deep. Gregory will take it. Looking for the runners in forward. Forward taken right in front of the post with some big defence. This President's side pretty keen to impress today. A lot of them have been waiting for some time, Mick, to get a representative jumper.
Well, there are a few players out there. I think a prime example is probably Mario Fennick. I think his early years have probably held him back a little bit. He actually is the sort of player I'd like to see involved in some of those State of Origin games. I think he wants New South Wales to do it at the moment.
Long pass out for Ford across the goal mouth, but he gets the kick in. Taken well by Adam O'Neill. Centre field. And about 15 metres into Great Britain's half. Gavin Miller will get up and play it. Centre field, so they can go either way. This is Geyer. Big stepping second rower out of the Penrith club, and has impressed a lot of people this year, Jack.
He handled that run all right, didn't he? He got 25 yards up there and really pumped for them.
Alexander gets it out to Miller. The President's side pretty keen to run it at this Great Britain defence. They've already proved it's a bit brittle. Alexander scoops the ball out, can't be taken. No one goes into touch, so the pressure off Great Britain at the moment.
Well, he went for a long shot then, and it's not on the wet ball in the boggy ground.
Ray French from the BBC, you're with us again this afternoon. Not the start that Great Britain wanted again, but gee, you've started slowly this whole tour.
Not a very good start at all. In fact, really, we're looking for a confidence-boosting win here, and that's why Mulready's put 8 test players in. But once again, shocking defence, Darrell, out wide. You know, we're not too bad in the midfield with the forwards, but the three-quarter line defence leaves a lot to be desired.
These conditions this afternoon should suit your fellows.
Oh, the conditions should suit us. I mean, we play 2/3 of our games in these conditions, so we should possibly have a slight advantage over the Australians.
OK, Ray, we'll be talking to you right throughout the match. Blake. Phil Blake from South Sydney has been in sensational form for his club this year. Finally getting a run at the representative games. The President's side pretty keen to run it. Gillespie putting the ball down, Bimbo. He has a look, and the referee has awarded the penalty to the President's 13. Andy Gregory a little over vigorous in trying to retain the ball. His namesake, Mike Gregory. And the player's starting to get muddied up pretty quickly.
Well, this was a photo decision, but Ray French, Mick picked something up about the statement Ray French made. What did you think of that, Mick, on that defence?
I just thought he criticised the backs defence. I just thought that the players around between was actually John Joyner and their hooker. So I think they probably do need to tighten up their fencing around the rucks as well as out wide.
Okay, long floating ball out this time. And a good bustling run too as the President's side take inside the 22 of Great Britain. Comes back to Trewella on to Geyer. Some good defence then from Great Britain, wrapped up the President's side. Straight away, ball and a little chip kick. The chase is on, could be close, yes. Phil Blake has gone in off a chip kick, but it's no try.
Well, he reckoned Blake was offside there. We'll have to look at the replay on that. What do you think, Mike?
Well, it's photo finish.
Well, there wasn't much in it, there's no doubt about that, and Blake showed his pace again. I mean, he came from way back to dive onto that ball, so Great Britain have really got to sort of get onto this ball. There is a player coming off for Great Britain. It looks like Beardmore, the hooker. We'll come back to that in a moment. So, and he is a test player. So I won't be too happy about that. But here's O'Neill. O'Neill now going down the touchline with a good run. 2 darts back inside the try and link up. Meninga at dummy half. Goes from there, makes a couple and just gets inside the 22. O'Neill is dummy half. Comes out to Miller. Switch of play. They take the tackle. And he plays it back. Comes out again to Foramo. Bradley. Reverse play from Gavin Miller. Andy Gregory is onto it, but that'll force the scrum, and that scrum will pack down just off centre on the 22 line, Great Britain's end of the ground.
I think it's an Australian feed, so they should continue their attack from this.
Wants the scrum to move over, having a bit of trouble on the mark, and have a bit to say too, Eddie Ward. Again, the ball screwing around, but it comes straight out for Alexander and Blake. Foramo dives onto the ball, but there's been a knock-on, so that'll force another scrum. And Jack, you made comment before we came on the air today, the way that the Englishmen screw this scrum around.
Well, they go towards the feed side. They go to the open all the time. If you'll notice, they push that scrum right around. And Australia, up till now, haven't come up with any way to counteract that situation.
Well, the President's 13 have held the ball for 21 tackles. Great Britain only 9 at this stage. So even though the ball is slippery now, it's going to get heavier and slipperier, although we would be using the wet weather balls today. Mike Gregory. That's Paul Hume on in number 14, so he has come on for Beardmore. Number 14, that's him with the ball now. And the headband is Paul Hume, his brother David Hume, playing 5'8" in this Great Britain side. So again, the two brothers on. Remember, they made Test history in the second Test by both coming on at Lang Park. First time that had happened in a Great Britain Test side. This is Bradley. Alexander, a dummy half. The green and gold's nice and deep. Alexander, little short ball out for Trowella again. He's causing the Great Britain players with plenty of headaches, but this is Lazarus. And the big front rower goes in. So all too easy at the moment. Some quick passing by the Australian players, and they're opening up Great Britain. Glenn Lazarus, the try scorer from the Canberra club. Great Britain getting a bit of a dressing down from Ellery Hanley, that's out there in the tracksuit, and he's really giving them plenty, I'll tell you, behind the line as Mal Meninga now lines up. His second kick, a lot easier than the first one. He's only about 13 metres out from the post, but he's about 15 metres off centre. Not a difficult kick. And gets the 2 points. So the President's 13 now starting to open up a little gap here, down here. 10 points to 2. Don Ferner, Peter Moore. Ferner the coach, Moore the manager of this side. Mick Cronin.
Well, yes, Darryl, I think English are showing up again that when they can only carry the one mark, they cause themselves a lot of trouble. Alexander did very well to get away there, set up Trowella, who set up the try. And I think unless they use the 2 markers, it's going to be more trouble before the day's out.
Well, that was probably their best play in the game then. They kicked it off from halfway and got it over the dead ball line and forced Australia into a line dropout, which will certainly give them some opportunity to attack close to Australia's line.
Blake. Now the Englishmen, can they get to the 22 and cause this side some trouble? Lachlan plays it back to Currier. He gets it on to Gregory. Still short of that 22. Powell. That's a better run, and just into the 22 area now. Ward's looking for the run. Turns it back to Gregory. Gregory changes direction. Can't link up, though. He still gets back to his feet. This time they wrestle him down, and they really haven't made too much ground, maybe half a metre. Hume gets it back to Powell. Paul Hume, Andy Gregory. High kick, pretty well placed too. There's plenty of chasers. Well, comes off Gregory's head. Still chasing for it. But I guess you've got to play the whistle and follow the ball. Well, Great Britain at least starting to vary their play a little, using the kicking game. Ball comes down off Gregory's head. But the President's side start to run it out through Blake, and the Englishman trying desperately to get the ball. Alexander dummy half. And they need to they're taking 3 men to take the player, but they're still going hijack.
Well, that's how it appears. I don't think, well, they never get much practice tackling low in England or in Great Britain, or they? It's certainly showing up here.
I guess I'll call them Australia. It's a lot easier than the President's 13. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? It's Guy who plays it back and then plays it forward. Goes another 4 or 5. So, Mick, what you're saying, they're just letting this side run, aren't they?
Well, there doesn't seem that much enthusiasm for the move up. There's one player's moved up, the other just all sat back there and waited. And it seems to be the pattern so far during this game.
This is Carl Gibson. He's taken on the 22. They're into the ground. Mike Gregory flicks a wild one back. Taken by Hume. He's taken, and there's an English player down on the flat of his back. That's obviously Gregory. Mike Gregory, and it'll be Gillespie that's called out. Here's the incident for you. Gregory, put down pretty heavily, just out of shot there. He's only winded, he's okay and up.
I think he was okay, Darryl. I think he stayed there for the penalty because it was a late shot. He picked him up late, certainly, Dave Gillespie.
Right, Hume gets it on to Ward. Ward turns it back to Hume again, looking for runners. It's little Gregory that takes the ball. He had Ayres running through, but he couldn't unload the ball. Ward takes on the President's players with some aggressive running. Comes out to Gregory, on to Powell. Powell looked to unload. Back to Hume, switches it to Gregory. A long ball out. This time for Darren Wright. Gregory, Hume. That's David Hume. Plenty of handballing going on here from Phil Ford. He just sort of tried to bang it on over to the winger, but that didn't work. Well, Mick, to me, the President's side seem to handle the conditions a little better than the Englishmen at the moment.
At the moment they are. They're doing it pretty easy at the moment. And as I said, I think England have got to improve a lot of them. Sort of get close to them.
This time, Great Britain are caught offside, so the penalty goes to the President's 13 side. Well, Ray French, I mean, can this be any warning for what we're going to see on Saturday? I mean, there are 8 Test players in this side.
Well, looking at this, Darryl, I think one or two of the things that we should see is that the Great Britain side, they're not moving up fast enough. I mean, all right, they were caught offside there, but down that right wing where 2 tries have gone, we're lying back, we're letting your President's 13 forwards run. And when we let an Australian pack run, well, there's no stopping them, as we can see. This is the problem.
We all agree with you up here. Fennick gets it out to Miller. Miller onto O'Neill. O'Neill steps, but this time Great Britain driving back, and that's better defence. Quick hands to Geyer. Big, tall, lanky fellow. They're deep inside the 22. Fennick out for Alexander. Florimo. Alexander with a little chip kick. Ford will take it. Or is it Gibson? No, it's Gibson that takes it. He's taken by Florimo. Gregory gets it on to Mike Gregory. He makes 3 or 4, but at least he's running forward and showing a little bit of determination.
He's going to work all day, Gregory. He did with his, he put in season here with Cronulla. He's quite well accepted. He proved himself a pretty fair first-grade footballer.
Foul back to Hume onto Ward. And they've taken play out of that danger zone, the 22. Back for the clearing kick. And that's not a bad one either. But it goes back to Blake. They've made a bit of ground with that. At least they've taken play into the President's 13 half of the ground. O'Brien has taken play over halfway back into Great Britain's side. Meninga winds up, belts one out of the way, gets it onto O'Neill with a big fend. O'Neill comes back inside, still going O'Neill. Good run. He's elusive, runs very low, doesn't he?
He picks up a lot of yards every Sunday, this kid. He certainly blotted his copybook at his last premiership game. Well, that's behind him.
I wasn't going to mention that. I thought, well, that's happened. He's probably paid the price for that all weekend. Blake gets it back for Miller. Miller playing with a broken nose, too, a legacy of that same match the other night. But he says it's okay. Florimo onto Gaia. Wrapped down by one of the newer players that we haven't seen, number 8, John Joyner for Great Britain.
Well, they're short on defence here.
They can get it out in Australia, but still going, and this is Lazarus. He gets it away to Alexander, is it? He's in again. Alexander has just snuck under the Great Britain defence after some good lead-up work from Lazarus again, so he's played well, the big fella out of Canberra, number 13. Here it is again. They went on the blind side. Of course, played with the touring Kangaroo side. Went through Great Britain and France undefeated. He's been eager to get back into a representative jumper ever since. Cowella, the Eastern Suburbs player that was a bit unlucky with the State of Origin series this year, was selected, had to withdraw through injury. Has grabbed his chance today too. Mal Meninga getting set, another difficult one under the conditions. Picks a lot lower this time, but still off beam. So the score remains Presidents 13-14, Great Britain 2. Well, Mick, the stories come up in the stats again. Missed tackles. The President's side have only missed 2. Great Britain have already missed 8.
Well, it comes up on the scoreboard too, Darryl.
That was a bad miss by Ford.
Well, I think it ended up there's 4 players, Great Britain players around 1 Australian player in the end, with Alexander going over to score the try, and it's the story of the day.
Okay, the runners keep coming. Gavin Miller gets a good ball away too, and they're quickly unloading this out to O'Neill. O'Neill with a bit of room to move.
Yeah, there's a high
stuff there too. Off Andy Currier. Comes from the Widnes Club, has only flown out to Australia as a replacement through injury. And that was high. Here's O'Neill, and there's the tackle. And it's the late stuff too again. So.
Well, David Hume, that was a very late shot on him. He'd be better occupied in doing something if somebody was advancing the football. O'Neill was already on the deck.
Eddie Ward laying down the law and said we will have none of the rot that beset the second test with high stuff, and the penalty goes to the green and gold side. Alexander to find the line. Not much of an angle to work for or with. Takes play just before the halfway. Right. This is Gillespie. Gillespie just inside Great Britain's half now. Fennick gets it out to Trawella. Eager for work. The runners today. Switch of play. And Big Mal gets a good ball out. It comes out here to Bradley. He gets out of one. They come back and get him. He gets it on to Lazarus. He goes forward, another 4 or 5, centre field. So the President side can attack either side. Fennick goes from dummy half and makes another 3 or 4.
Well, what they're trying to do, Darryl, they're trying to wound instead of stop. They just got to stop the runner. That's the way to embarrass the runner.
Blake with a little chip. Taken by Ward. And again, just running from dummy half and they're going nowhere. Ayres, a player we haven't seen too much of in the number 9 jumper. Mick, you've had a bit to do with him in England. You said he's a pretty handy footballer.
Well, I've seen him play a few games. He's impressed me playing for Widnes, but come over here, it's a different standard again altogether. The defence moves up quicker. Don't get as much room to work, so he's probably finding it a bit different out here today.
Well, Gregory trying something different there with a little kick through, hoping that the backs would follow. They did, but Alexander too quick. Oh, and another late tackle then too. And that was a gain on Hume, on Blake. And the touch judge, Fairningham, has just stood there and looked at that, and Blake looked at the touch judge and said, well, what have they got to do?
Well, he may come in when this play's finished.
I'll be surprised if he doesn't, or embarrassed if he doesn't, because it was very late. Anyway, Bradley, he'll play it back to Lazarus. Onto Alexander. Ball out for Florimo. On another high tackle, but this time it's okay. It was Joyner. Alexander on to Geyer. Geyer takes the tackle of Ward. Bit of a wrestling match. Fennick fires one out for Alexander. Little chip kick through. Taken by Ford, is it? Yes, it is. I think it came in on him. He wasn't very happy about that. Could have been a bit late.
You got him like a door stopper. He's really stopped the roll.
Some big defence coming in on Great Britain now. You can hear the hits from up here in the top of the stand. No lack of defence from the green and gold. Great Britain decide to kick it through forward. Blake perfectly positioned. Just centre field takes it, returns the compliment. Will he find the line? It's skidding there, but just pulls up in the slow conditions. Ford running it back, gets out of one. Still going forward. But they're deep in the 22. Penalty has gone to Great Britain. Mario Fennick giving away the penalty this time. Here's Ford running it back.
Well, I know Mario for an early attempt at taking this ball back. He just went that a little early. But the ball was on the ground. It didn't appear that way to me, did it?
And that touch judge didn't come in, I remind you. Anyway, that happened a while ago, but it's still indicative of what's been going on with the back play stuff. Great Britain with the ball, trailing 14 points to 2. Gregory, little spurt from there, gets out of one. He's a tough little bloke. No matter what they give him. This is Mike Gregory. He only goes a couple before he's brought down centre field, and it's getting very dark down here. The lights are onto the ground. Rain still falling. Hume clearing kick. And the chasers come through from Great Britain. Blake stumbles and falls, and they take him this time. So the President's side, 32 metres out from their line. O'Brien. Fennick dummy half. He's back to Lazarus. Gillespie. Out of 2, Gillespie. Gets it away to Truella. Truella with a good ball back for Lazarus. The Australians are going forward. They're into Great Britain's territory now, and there'll be another penalty. Again in the play of the ball, this time on Mike Gregory.
Well, Mike Gregory must be deficient in something. Like, he's still hanging on, and he's blown up about the penalty. He took the odds to make him play the ball slowly, so he's got to take the odds and give him a penalty away.
30-minute mark in this game, and the score is 14-2 for Weller Platt. Fennick comes out for Guy, just manages to hold onto it after a juggling match, puts it down, ball's loose, Ford's on it, they're on him, and he's about 2 metres out. Hume, Paul Hume, plays for the Widnes Club. The penalty has gone to Great Britain this time. The President's 13, caught offside. Paul Lachlan finds the line just outside the 22 area, about 32 metres out from their own line. Goes back to Ward. Ward hard and straight. Back for Hume, onto Powell. Powell spins into one source, complete defence. Gillespie over the top. Lazarus underneath, bang. Down he goes. Hurt a little bit too that time. Slow to get up. Yes. Again from the Widnes Club. There's a lot of Widnes players in this side. You think they'd have a bit better understanding of what they've got. Gregory stood, paid the price, gets belted down. Weller over the top. Hume comes out to his brother Hume, onto Ford. Ford decides to go forward a couple, stepping around, unloads to Joyner from the Castleford Club. Gregory. Adam O'Neill off the boot, off the face, into the hands, and brings back play 10 metres short of the halfway line. The President's 13 side of the ground. This is Mal Meninga. They wrap him up pretty well this time, though. He only makes a couple. Centre field. Back for Fennick. On to Geyer. They're back into Great Britain's half-full. Mick, every time they touch, it's 2 or 3 tackles, and they can make that vital territory that Great Britain just can't make.
Well, that's right. You've got one side that's prepared to move up in defence, President's 13, and the other side is just prepared to wait for the runners to get to them. And it's just showing it there now.
Florimo gets it on to Meninga, back to Florimo with a run around. Was there for Bradley, he couldn't take it, Gregory takes it. And the Meninga came over the top. Gregory has a little look back, having a bit to say too, Gregory. And Mal has a little smile on his face. Talk about the long and the short of it.
Well, the tackle was a little high, but all in all, Gregory had patented that tackle.
Lachlan. Well, the score at the moment, the President's 13, 14 leading Great Britain 2. David Hume, he's belted down centre field now. Can they get a bit more aggressive and make some territory? This is Mike Gregory. At least he's going forward, almost to the 22. Comes back to Andy Gregory. He links up with Ward. Ward onto the 22 line now. Look for the kick. Gregory turns it back, though, looking for runners. This is Lachlan. They run across the field each time. They're easy picking. Hume, Paul Hume. Yeah, they're only about 12 metres out. Gregory, there's the kick. Plenty of chasers. Fumble ball, Mike Gregory. Try. Well, we said watch for the kick. Gregory thought it was the only way he's going to get over this defence, so he put it up in the air. Great Britain followed it. Mike Gregory scored off it. Here it goes. Up it goes. Now, there were plenty of chasers. Watch Mike Gregory. Keeps his eye on the ball. It's mishandled, and he scores.
Well, I knew it should have caught this ball. It was the last play, last tackle count. Stick it up and chase the football. Well, he come up empty here, and Mike Gregory was smart enough to have confidence that something had happened, and it did.
So, Great Britain now making the scores look a little bit more respectable. 14-6 with a kick to come. Paul Lachlan from the St Helens Club will take the kick. He's 10 metres in from the sideline, and he's on the junction of the 10 metre and the 22 line. So It's not a difficult kick, but this ball would be starting to get pretty heavy. The difference between wet weather balls to kick, Mick?
Well, I think these are a little bit harder to kick, these balls. They're a smaller ball. They've probably got a smaller sweet spot. So I think that's the difference.
Well, he's got in the air nicely, and that's not a bad-looking kick. That's okay, in fact. So now the scoreline reads the Presidents 13-14, leading Great Britain 8. Mal Meninga will restart play. Pretty well identical kick that he's been making all day, taken by Gregory. He gets it back for Gibson. Of the Carl variety from the Leeds club. Onto the try scorer, Gregory. Spins it back for Ward. And tackled right on the 22 line. Gregory sees a little hole. He's found it too, but quickly shut. Too much defence there, Mario Fennick. And again, they kick through Lachlan this time. Comes back for O'Neill. O'Neill winding up, trying to get some footing. Goes around Powell, now straightens up. Gets it out to O'Brien. He's wrestled down, though. Meninga. And Mick, the Great Britain side were not happy to see Meninga back into this Australian lineup today. They're pretty fearful of him when he runs at them.
I don't think there's anyone too happy to see Mal Meninga in the opposition side.
Well, there was some talk about Meninga playing today. They weren't really impressed with the fact that he was back and going to charge at him. And he's had a fair game when you consider he's been out for so long and played such little football.
Well, Eric Growth always had the perfect way to tackle Mal Meninga was 2 blokes to have a leg each and 6 other blokes jump on his back. So they might be going to follow these tactics out here today.
Comments from Mick Cronin. Ball cleared. Taken nicely, though, by Andy Currier. He's taken pretty solidly, too, and put down on that nice, clean white jumper. He's now starting to match with the rest of them. This is Mike Gregory. Well, Ray French, the score looking a little better, and maybe that kicking game in the 22 the best way to go.
Well, the score looked a little bit better, but the kicking game was all wrong, Darryl. In a sense, we were kicking long and deep, and we're just making the ball easy for Phil Blake. He wants the little 5-yard short kicks through, or the big high ball and get people underneath it, and that's what it's causing problems.
Yes, well, that one did pay off for you as Blake takes this ball. He's taken about 17 metres out. Well, kicks in general play, Ray. Great Britain have kicked 12 times. The President's side just 7 times.
Yeah, I think Great Britain have had to kick because your defence is so much better. I mean, down that right wing of ours, well, you could drive a tram car through, couldn't you? But your forwards are tackling well in midfield and holding us.
Comments from Ray French, the senior rugby league commentator for the BBC, been out with the Great Britain touring side and has worked on all tests for us. Done a great job too. And enjoying his trip down under, I'll say. Just 2 minutes remaining in the half now. So time to attack. And Blake says, I'll do that. Good run, loses the ball though. Currier can't handle it, still loose. Ford's trying to tow it around. The referee says play on. This is Currier. Taken by Miller. Fennick in there to help too. Ford pushes him off and says give us a go. This is Powell. Lazarus. Cruella. Paul Hume, dummy half, gets it to Andy Gregory. He kicks, but again, as Ray French has said, he's just kicked it straight to Phil Blake. So there's absolutely nothing gained with that kick at all. O'Neill ducks down just before he gets tackled. Paul Hume takes him. Fennick. Miller. Taken by Hume. So Paul Hume doing a fair bit of defence for Great Britain. He's been busy since he's been on. Gregory on Lazarus, who has scored a try and played very well, and there's the half-time hooter. So the score here, the Presidents 13-14, leading Great Britain 8. The ball bouncing around, and that'll call a halt to play. Scoreline remains the same, so Great Britain with plenty to do. The President's side pretty happy with their performance so far. Gavin Miller. Well, Jack, how do you see it in the second half? What are they going to do quickly?
Well, I see this, that Mike Gregory is easily the best Great Britain player, and I think that their defence at dummy half, very, very poor. Any one of our players that moves from dummy half picks 8, 10, 15 yards up every play. They're going to certainly got to do something there.
Mick Cronin?
Well, I probably tend to think that Andy Gregory's probably been one of their better players. I think he's shown throughout this tour that he's played very well and is a tough competitor. But I think today just shows the difference between the two games in the two different countries.
OK, thanks, Mick. We'll take a break. Course 14-8, the President's side in front. The kick-off now, so Great Britain to take the ball, and they have changed their jumpers, so they've come out in fresh jumpers. The President's side have elected to stay in their dirty ones, and there's a big hit already. Currier as he gets up. Hume gets it onto Powell. Defence though moves quickly onto Powell. This is Gregory. Scored for Great Britain in the first half off a kick off Andy Gregory. And back for the clear again, this time from Lachlan. Well, Ray French, did you have a chance to hear what was said in the dressing room with the Great Britain side?
Well, I'm afraid I didn't, Darryl. I've been enjoying the beautiful weather out here. I didn't get a chance to go inside. But what has been said in the dressing room, I'm sure it must be just retain possession for 6 or 7 minutes. I mean, conditions are really bad there. It's a slippy, greasy ball, and you can't afford to play the game in your own half. And that was a bad kick from Paul Lachlan. He gained nothing. It's put pressure back on Great Britain.
OK, Ray, and of course we'll have Ray talking to the winning captain at the end of this game. Out on the field as Alexander finds a line for the President's 13 side, and this will take play inside the 22. Mario Fennick looking for the runners. It's Lazarus, the Canberra player, goes hard and straight, stays on his feet though. Trewella has been a headache all afternoon for the Great Britain players. Ayres was the tackle that time. Comes back to Miller. Miller trying to link up but can't. Hume and Joyner, the two tacklers. Back for Fennick. Looking to select a runner. It comes to Geyer. Geyer again still standing. There's 4 of them on him, pushing him back. Probably tackled where he took the ball. Fennick bowled over. He gets up quickly. Goes to Alexander. On to Florimo. Out to Meninga, into Blake, still in the 22, the President's side. Last tackle, there's the kick. The chasers come through, Ford underneath it, and takes it pretty well too.
Well, I think the major thing that's happened in this game has been the performance by the referee in comparison to the French referee. Ward, he's done a fine job. There's been very little foul play. He's wiped that out, and he's got on with the game.
This is Ward. Ward, he's put down with some big defence too. Lazarus underneath him and just drove him down into the mud. Powell winds up. Half slip, half tackled. Comes back to Ayres. He's come out to Australia from Widnes because of the injury problem. And a stoppage in play that'll force a scrum in the centre of the field. Midway between the quarter and the half, Great Britain's end of the ground.
Well, there didn't seem to be too much illegal in that play. Did you see anything, Mike?
Oh, I think it might have been a bit of a spear tackle, Jack. I think he's what he's got him for.
Well, here's the incident again. This is Florimo going in on him and picks him up and drives him down. So that was the incident. Top tacklers are interesting for the President's 13, Trewella 16, Miller 14, Gillespie 11. For Great Britain, Joyner 13, Powell 12, Ward 12. The President's 13 have made 57 tackles, Great Britain 73. Ward gets it back to Andy Gregory, on to Mike Gregory, run around with Gregory. Gregory's going everywhere here, so is the ball. Lachlan fell on it, Florimo got it, but we'll have a scrum.
Well, I think it'll be a Great Britain feed, so they should have a little more ball, see what they can do with the next 6 tackles.
scrum screwing around again, but he's saying, wait a minute, we haven't got a ball to put into the scrum yet. Gregory taking a long time to get there. Again, the scrum screws. Great Britain win it. Comes out to Hume, David Hume. He's wrapped up. Ford is in a dummy half. The referee has said, let him play the ball. So the penalty goes to Great Britain. Gregory having a fair bit to say. He's given the ball to Lachlan. Lachlan will try and find as much ground as he can. Poor kick, really. Probably made 10 metres. Paul Hume will take the tap. Gives it to Powell. Powell winds up. Makes a couple. Paul Hume. Out to Gregory. On to David Hume. The run around again. Collared this time though and brought down pretty strongly. Trewella, the major tackler, goes out to Hume, on to Mike Gregory. Again, this one out stuff, Mick. They're going forward but very slowly.
Well, they can't handle this fast-moving defence, and I think it's the big difference between the two games.
Well, they've had all the possession, Great Britain, in this half, and this is the first time they've crossed over into Australia's territory. They weren't there long.
Well, Joyner being penalised then for trying to reef the ball out of the hands of the player trying to play the ball. There's been a lot of penalties given this afternoon on this around the ruck area, playing the ball. Gillespie. They meet him pretty hard and drive him back. Fennick, Trewella, on the Miller. Fennick gets it out to Alexander. Came through Lazarus. Bit of push and shove. This time the referee lets it go. The kick will find touch, will it? Rolling, yes it does. That's a good kick. Phil Blake, the kicker, and a good one too. That's made a good 45 metres, that kick. There it is from way back deep in their own half, and he's taken play up into that 22 area, so that's a great kick. Pack's going in for you. Great Britain ball. But they're back on their own end of the ground again in that 22, so they need to get out there pretty quickly. Trewella and Florimo, the tacklers. Mike Gregory, he's worked hard this afternoon. Gets it on to Wright, Darren Wright from the Widnes Club. One of your Widnes boys, you'd think they'd have a lot more understanding. There's probably half of the side made up of players out of Widnes. Gets it on to Gregory. Again, Gregory looking for Powell this time. Powell's half through, stumbles and makes another couple. The crowd here this afternoon, 6,037. 6,037 in pretty miserable conditions, I'll tell you now. And this is right, he winds up, chips the ball ahead, the chase is on now. Too big though, the kick. Blake has it covered. Alexander was there too, so was O'Neill. Mario Fennick pops one back for Gillespie. Gillespie threw a high one out of Gregory, but no trouble there. Meninga, they've got a bit of room to move now. Meninga winds up. They don't want to tackle Meninga. Joyner takes him though. This is O'Neill. He gets it back to Alexander. He's trying to link up. Lazarus is in the way, but he's made sure he's kept out of it. The ball goes loose. Picked up by Hume. On to Gregory quickly. David Hume, he can't handle. And Gregory is down. We'll have a look at that and see what happened. Here's Gregory with the ball. And there was the hit from Geyer. But that was okay.
It was okay if you didn't stop it. I think he got one right in the biscuit there.
Well, I've said before, he's a pretty tough little customer, but he has elected to stay down. Referee has awarded the Presidents 13 a penalty out of that scrum. They keep moving off the mark continually. Ayres having a bit to say to the referee. That'll mean nothing. Alexander. And play will restart about 14 metres out. So the President's side with a good attacking chance again. This is Lazarus. Plays it back. Comes back to Miller. Miller looking for runners. It was Guy. He couldn't handle it though, and Powell's dived onto it. Let's play on, and there's Great Britain players down everywhere at the moment. Hume gives it to Powell. Oh, and some big defence. They take the ball, and this is a chance. Malmeninga in. That's simple. A jolting tackle. The ball goes loose. Meninga in. Meninga, that's a sweet try for him. He'd love to score that one. Of this side really worrying Great Britain. They don't like those hard hits and the ball coming loose.
Well, nobody likes those hard hits, Darryl, but that was a great tackle by Guy. But I think it's just the difference between the games in the two countries. Whereas over there they use a slow moving defence, over here they're always coming at you and they just can't handle it.
Mal Meninga, always a study of concentration when he's kicking. Another hard one. It's at 24 metres out almost on the touchline. Gee, he's got some distance though. Waved away. So the score at the moment, 18 points to 8. Taken by Bradley. He gets it on to O'Neill. Trying to wrestle the ball out of O'Neill's hand, but he stays on his feet, and the penalty once again. Well, it goes to O'Brien. And Mike Gregory's in there sort of saying, well, they're trying to get the ball. The crowd's unhappy about that. Alexander takes the penalty finder. And that takes play back into Great Britain's half. Gillespie bounces out of one, centre field. 32 metres out. On the Miller, run around for Blake. Blake trying to unload, but he's inside the 22, so a scoring chance again for the President's side. Fennick gets out wide to Lazarus. He's lost the ball though, ball loose. Picked up pretty quickly by Andy Currier. Gregory. Back for Ayres, or Ayres I should say. Andy Gregory. Running around behind his players, they take him. He's down a little knock early, he seems okay now. Back to his bubbly best. Gregory. Long floating pass, it goes loose. Lachlan has picked it up. Going nowhere, Great Britain. Back for the kick. Forward. Off the side of his boot, and it's a horror. But O'Neill then touched the ball.
Well, he came up trumps. They're going to get a feed and they're going to retain possession, England.
So the handling errors, Presidents 13 have made 13 errors, and Great Britain have made 7. Ward waiting to go in. So Great Britain get the feed. Because we'll have it again. Again, having a lot of trouble trying to set this scrum down. He says, bring it back over here. Ward's concerned at the Great Britain side going in early, and the President's 13 just can't get in. But Great Britain ball goes on to Gibson. First touch of the ball in the second half. Over to Hume. He gets it on to Ford. Ford stepping. Unloads this time. Gets it on to Mike Gregory. Number 15 coming on, Hugh Waddell. He's from the Oldham club. We'll see who's coming off. Gregory gets it on to Powell. Powell out of one. Goes nowhere though. Hugh Waddell wearing 15. He's with Ellery Hanley, the captain of the Great Britain squad. Not playing today. And that ball will find the line, so that's not a bad kick. Let's see who's coming off here for the Great Britain side. No one wants to come off. Andy Gregory coming off. Well, that's a bit of a blow. He's not too happy about it either, I'll tell you. He's having a bit to say. Getting a reception from the crowd as Ellery Hanley walks off with him, but he wasn't very happy. So Hume now has gone to feed the scrums. We'll see who comes in at 5'8". And that's Waddell on now. There's Gregory. He's a pretty fierce competitor. He wouldn't like to come off at this stage. Maybe he would under those conditions.
Well, I think once he gets there, he'll be pleased enough. He's got to back up. He'll be a major player in the next test, and I suppose Riley wants him healthy for that. Really, I mean.
Long ball out of Australia. Players this time with a bit of room to move with Meninga, but they bring him down. It's giving him some headaches when he touches, I'll tell you. Pretty slow to come at him. Another little chip through. Taken by Ford. It's not. It bounces loose. Again, it's towed loose. The referee says we'll play the knock-on and have the scrum.
He had a tough one to take, but he couldn't hold it. She popped out real quick.
Make this game down to a walking pace now.
Yes, there's not a real lot happening out there, even though I do think the Great Britain side at the moment are starting to move the ball around it more. They're starting to string a couple of passes together and looking a little bit better when they've got the ball.
Alexander, Florimo stepping, Ford takes him. The help of Lachlan. Alexander. This is Trewella. Conditions extremely dark here now, although the rain has eased back a little. Geyer. They're about 15 metres out of game with another chance. Gillespie a dummy half. One to Miller, gets out to Lazarus. Quick one out for O'Neill. Comes back the other way to Alexander. Little chip kick. Looking for some runners. The ball goes loose too. Hume had dived on it. So the scrum will be packed about 7 metres out from the Great Britain line.
I don't know who's going to feed this ball, but Australia may get the feed. No, he's giving it to Great Britain. No, back to Australia.
Alexander. Well, a big chance here now if they can get this ball out cleanly. Great Britain have come up with it though through Mike Gregory. The scrum screwed round. He dived on it. Ayres. Back for Hume. Oh, and some big defence on who is that? Wardell, a new player, yeah. Miller pulled off a good tackle there. Powell. He runs into Fennick. And Miller again. Hume. Gregory. Now they get chance. This is Ayres with a bit of chance and a pace. He starts to wind up. He gets it into the President's 13 side. He gets a good ball out for Lachlan. Lachlan starts to stride. He's looking for support. If he can link up, there's a long floating pass out wide. And the runners are still coming. So this is probably the best pace of play we've seen. And a chance to Ford. And that's a try from Ford. Well, they took play from the President's 13 side of the ground, ran it across the field and linked up with some good chain passing in this wet condition. So we finally see some reasonable wet weather football out of this Great Britain side. That was a good try. It was Ayres that made the break, and a good break it was too. You can see he was looking for support as he got over into the President 13 side. They got it out to Lachlan. Lachlan just went straight at O'Neill. O'Neill's tried to shepherd him over. Then the ball went out to right. He turned it back into Ford. Ford showed enough pace to get over, and that's a good try.
It was a pretty smart exhibition of football. It started from their own 22-yard line, and probably to get this, you're looking at 80, but the way they ran, they went from one side to the other. To get that ball in there, they probably covered 110 metres. That was excellent.
Well, Mick Cronin, this Phil Ford, he's been a handy player for this side since they've been in Australia.
I think he's shown a bit of ability, yes, but it's when he starts to fight that he worries me. But in his first test, he played very well on the wing, and he's shown a bit here again today. As long as he keeps his arms down, I think he's a fair player.
Lachlan's kick is waved away, so the score now looking a bit more interesting. The President's 13 side scoring 18 points to Great Britain 12.
Find out the details at a touch of a button with Teletext. Local, regional, national and international weather is available. Teletext, keeping you informed.
John Ferner, the coach of this President's side this afternoon. Of course, the Australian coach, he's wrapped up the Test series. He'll be back at the Sydney Football Stadium on Saturday for the third and final test between the two countries. It'll be the 103rd test outing.
Go forward.
So Great Britain now running with a bit more purpose. The gap a little better, 18 to 12. And they've got some time. Ward up the centre. Unloads back to Wardell. He loses the ball. It's picked up by Meninga. He floats one out for O'Neill.
It was a pretty poor pass from Meninga there on a first play situation. He shot a long one.
O'Neill on one wing and O'Brien on the other, and a lot of mud between. Another break. Pull back.
I don't think he agreed with that, Michael. He certainly blew up.
He seemed to accept it too kindly. I think it probably was a touch and go, but probably just a little bit offside.
That was Andy Currier. President's ball. Florimo. It's it on to Meninga. Back for Alexander, dummy half. Trewella. Out of one, Trewella. They come back and get him, though, the three of them. That's the 22 line you can see. Fennick.
Well, just watching Ward here, he's starting to forget about that 5-metre rule. And he got him back this time.
This is Lazarus trying to get up to play the ball. Manages to do so. Has a bit to say after he gets up to. Florimo. Some long passes here considering the conditions. The ball goes loose. Florimo gets onto that. They get onto him through Ayres. Miller. Alexander. This is Geyer. Fennick gets on to Lazarus again. He's a pretty strong game, Lazarus. I tell you what, every time he gets a ball, they're onto him. They wake up to him in the first half. He caused them plenty of headaches. This is Fennick.
Well, he had a great start on that occasion. Gregory was well inside the 5-metre.
Well, Gregory's blown up now. Not at all happy with this. Mario says we'll have a shot. Great Britain want to talk about that decision, Jack.
Well, it takes away from his performance. Gregory's not a doubt. He's questioning everything. He's come I don't know, they might have made him captain or spokesman or something. Well, he contributed. It's a fair decision. Well, Mario certainly can do the extras. One little act, and he's the man.
I'd say Hume has taken over the responsibilities of the captain of the side, the way he pulled back Gregory. Then he's having a bit to say there too. So Hume in number 6, the 5'8". Looks like he's taken over the captaincy of the Great Britain side. Well, here's the kick from Mal Meninga. Not far off centre. About 20 metres out. Score 18 to 12 with this kick to come. 1 from 4 this afternoon. That's understandable under the conditions. And waved away again. So the big fella not happy with his kicking performance this afternoon. That one was probably the best shot he's had, the easiest shot he's had. Great Britain start off immediately. They want to get on with the game, so the score remains 18-12. Can they come back? They need to get the ball and get down the other end of the field. Lazarus doing his best to get up the Great Britain's end, and he's just inside there now. Ball goes loose, chance. Gibson's onto it. Gibson winding up. They're coming across. Formo goes to take him. The ball went loose. Trewella picked it up. Gibson's got it again. The referee says no, we'll have a scrum. Replacement coming on for the President's side, which is Ian Gately from the Manly club in 14. Gillespie is coming off. Certainly done his job here this afternoon. David Gillespie from the Canterbury club. Florimo had a look then, and this is a chance if they can spin it quickly, and they're spinning it pretty quickly. They're going for number 2, I think, yes. Oh, they're back out, so the Great Britain side are in with a chance now. They fought back quickly and fought in for try number 2. It happened pretty quickly. There's some good lead-up work from John Joyner. Let's see it again. Now, Florimo was looking at the defence or where he was going to pass the ball. Joyner got onto it quickly. He got it quickly out to Darren Wright, then on to Ford. Ford headed for the corner. O'Brien got there, but too late.
Well, this is the case where Australia's got the football and they give it back. And then Great Britain score the try.
Proverbial dog on the field. He's having a good time in the rain. Well, this kick could level it up. It's a difficult one. Don Ferner looking a little bit more concerned. Ray French down on the sidelines. Have we got a smile on your face yet?
Yes, there is a smile. You mentioned earlier on that you felt that the Widnes lads should be doing something and sort of be getting together. Well, I think you're seeing something of that, Darren. And you're also seeing Richard Ayres doing a first-class job at hooker. He's come in for Kevin Beardmore. He's winning all the ball. He's playing well in midfield, and he's moving the ball with the two Hume brothers. And I think the Widnes connection is beginning to tell, and Australia are looking a little bit tired.
Well, this is an important kick, Ray. It's not an easy one, but Lachlan seems to get a fair bit of distance, but he needs to be pretty accurate, and under these conditions, a very difficult kick indeed. But if he can do it, it'll be 18 all. Here it goes. He's certainly got the height. He's got the distance and waved away, so 2 points in it. Great Britain 16, trailing the Presidents 13-18. Half of this game coming alive, Mick. Do you think they can come back now? They should have the confidence.
Well, I think they're showing a bit more. As I said, they started to move the ball around, and they're a bit more enthusiastic in defence. And they've got an extra man on the field too, Darryl. He should be able to help.
Wearing the brown jumper, running on the 4 legs. He's having a great time. They can't get rid of him. Referee has said, stop the clock till we get rid of the dog. Well, Phil Ford is having a good game this afternoon. 2 tries, but he's been busy all afternoon. That's the first send-off of the day.
Well, someone's got to pick the dog up. Must bite, because no one will go, oh, we got somebody. Give him a pat.
OK, play resumes here at Seaford.
Did he get 5 or 10, Darryl?
I'm not sure, but here's Gregory making another break. He gets 5 or 10 into the green and gold territory. Ward. A lot keener now, the Great Britain side. And there's Gately, the new player in 14. He's not hard to pick. This time the kicking game takes over, but the kick's too big. So the idea was good, but direction way off beam. David Hume. Still in Great Britain's end of the ground by about, well, they're 32 metres out as Phil Blake goes for a little gallop. Hume comes over the top with the help of Mike Gregory. O'Brien goes from dummy half, makes a couple. Back for Trewella. Weller with another hard run, makes 4 or 5 good ones. Gregory's hurt too in the back play. Lasworth goes forward. The big men starting to pound now. Geyer, there's a little chip kick. But Ford manages to put his boot to it and gets rid of it. Well, Jack, what about Eddie Ward's performance this afternoon?
In comparing to the Frenchman, he's number one. But he's had a pretty good game. I think he's helped the exhibition. I mean, it's not ideal conditions. It's wet and boggy and everyone's slippery. And the dog's back on.
Mal Meninga back inside the 22, trailed by the dog. And he's gone off the field again. This is Gately. Gately winds up. Takes the settler and about 16, well, not that 15 metres out. There's the 10-metre line now. So ground marking's pretty hard to pick up here. The ground getting chopped up, and we believe the New Zealand Rugby Union side will be playing here tomorrow as Alexander spins around. We'll come back to that in a moment. As the present side attack the line here, they're only a few metres out, running out of tackles. Alexander, we go from dummy half. There's the little chip kick through. He's taken down. Ford gets his boot to it again. Picked up by Currier. But he's driven over the dead ball line.
Well, they've got a little more defence to do, Great Britain, because they could kick this ball out from a line drop out.
Well, as we mentioned, the New Zealand Rugby Union side, the world champion Rugby Union side, at the ground today at the invitation of the Australian Rugby League. They will be playing here tomorrow against the Canberra rugby side. Of course, defeated Australia in the first test at Concord last weekend. And I guess they'd be looking with a bit of interest how the ground's going to shape up, although I guess coming out of New Zealand, they'd be pretty happy to play in these conditions anyway. Fennick. Back for Alexander. Oh, this is Miller. Miller straight through, looking for a link up. Miller. He nearly always could have gone himself, but here's Blake. The referees pull it back. Well, Miller nearly could have gone himself.
Well, Miller slipped over. He certainly went through that hole. That was a pretty touch-and-go decision when he got that ball away, whether he's offside, but the referee was pretty close to the money.
It was Blake. He seemed to take the ball pretty well, but anyway, with a difficult angle here. Great Britain ball through Hume. It's taken by Alexander. Ball goes loose again.
We'll have a new feeder.
Ward saying, I can't get down. Gregory takes the ball, he loses it, and the penalty goes to the President's side. Well, he's done it once and got away with it. I suppose it was worth a shot.
Well, he's chatting up again. He's given 3 or 4 penalties away. Gregory's too much for him.
And he gets it out to Miller. Miller throws a dummy. They're only a couple of metres out. Joyner takes him. The help of Hume over the top. Wrestling match going on. Ward saying leave him alone. Here's Bradley. He's held up on the line though, Bradley.
That was pretty smart defence. He was over the line, got nailed back.
Well, that was Ford again. He's certainly been their best player in my books this afternoon. Ball knocked down. Fennick tries to clear it but can't. Falls on it. Referee says there's been a knock on, so that'll force a scrum about 11 or 12 metres out from the Great Britain line. Alexander with a dummy, gets it out to Bradley, and Bradley's in. So Alexander just making a little sprint. Good on to Bradley. Bradley over. Alexander, enormous acceleration. Greg Alexander would be pretty happy with that too. And that was the Penrith connection there. Graham Bradley from Penrith scoring off a ball from Greg Alexander from Penrith.
Well, we're going to give Mal another shot. You lose the post pretty good. Everything limps to port or limps to starboard. You've got to put one down the middle shortly.
22-16 with this kick to come. And you won't get any easier than this today. This time successful. So the score now. The Presidents 13 have scored 24 points to Great Britain 16. Well, Great Britain bring it back. There has been a replacement in the President's side. We'll come back to you after the kick-off with that. Here we are. Number 15, Clint Robinson. He'll replace Adam O'Neill. Robinson in 15, O'Neill was in 5. Robinson, the exciting young talent from the Balmain club. So he'll get a chance to have a run, I'm sure, as Miller takes it up. If Great Britain need to get the ball down this end and do something pretty quickly now at 24-16. This kick rolling over. Ford will pick it up. He's been busy in attack and also solid in defence. He's out at 2. He's done it again. He's a good stepper, this fellow.
No, he runs the ball good, but his defence is practically non-existent.
Well, he saved a try back there a little while ago, Jack, with some heavy defence. That was a pretty good tackle, but I generally think you're right. But that could apply to most of this side, I think. Here's another breakthrough here, so he certainly made a difference since he's come on. He gives it out to Gibson. Referee has brought it back. Ray French, can you see any of the players that we've seen for the first time here this afternoon? Joyner, Ayres, Currier getting into this test side on Saturday?
I can certainly see Richard Ayres getting into this test side. I don't know what's wrong with Kevin Beardmore yet. I don't know the problem. But I think Richard Ayres could either play at hooker if Kevin's out, or certainly at second row. He's made a big difference in midfield. He moves the ball well. He's a loose forward back at Widnes. And he's also had the ability to break one or two of these tackles. I mean, Great Britain have given as good as they've got in this second half. It's just that little man Alexander again, the acceleration that caught them napping.
Yes, he's a good player. You saw a lot of him, of course, on that Kangaroo tour.
Oh, certainly he did. I mean, he was most unlucky not to be in the test side. I saw him play some very, very good games with the sort of so-called reserve string, and his acceleration from the scrum, which he's shown twice today, and twice it's produced tries. Phenomenal like that.
Penalty has gone to the President's 13 side again out of the scrum with a loose arm. But Ray, while you're still there, I remember when you first arrived in Australia, you were saying that Phil Ford was probably lucky to make this squad, yet he's been a very consistent player for you.
Well, Phil Ford's had a superb tour. Phil Ford was one of these fringe men originally as far as selection was concerned. And whether they've played him at full-back or on the wing, or even he's put his hand to centre, he's had that ability to step out of tackles and score tries and make tries. He's been a grand tourist, there's no doubt about it.
Thanks, Ray. OK, well, here we are again. This time it's Trewella. Bouncing out of Great Britain tackles. They're inside the 22. O'Brien at dummy half. Clears it out quickly to Alexander. They get it on to Gately, is it? Sure is. Not hard to pick. He's only wanted a clean jumper. Out to Alexander again. On to Florimo. This is Bradley. They wrap him up. The big tall man finally goes down. Scored the last try for the President's side. Bennett is in. Comes out for Miller. A ball for Meninga. He couldn't handle it. Robinson also can't handle. It's taken by Paul Hume. Right, Great Britain have put the toe to the ball. They've got chasers coming through too. Big Lachlan striding down the park. Can he take his man? No, he can't. Well, his man slipped, which was Blake. Gregory was there. Two minutes remaining now, so the game well and truly won 24-16, and they put on another try. Losing the ball this time. Gibson picks it up, goes across field, tries to link up, now straightens up the attack. They take him centre field. Joyner for Waddell. Waddell with a good run. Had Powell on the inside but just couldn't unload. But he's taken play back to the halfway line. They'd love to score another one here if they could. This is Ward. Over into the President's territory now. Still going Ward. Got a nice ball away.
That was a fine run by Ward.
Yeah, he certainly straightens him up when he gets a little bit of room too. He winds up. He's a good player. And that's him with the ball now. So almost to the 22. Wardell runs into some pretty stiff stuff and gets stopped pretty quickly. Gately and Meninga, two pretty solid defenders. From Hume to Hume. There's the kick. Straight up in the air. Bundled into touch though. Lachlan. So the clock winding down. This scrum to pack inside the 22. Alexander to feed. Formo dummy half. And the President's side just content now to run it out, one out, because they know there's only a minute and a half to go. They've got it one at 24-16. Well, Jack, can you see anything that can indicate that Great Britain will come out firing in a better way on Saturday?
Well, I'll start with this. I think the best player for Australia has been Tuella. I think he's had a fine game, but I can't see anything different happening on Saturday against the Test. I still think they've certainly showed a little bit of enterprise here tonight. I thought their performance has been pretty good, Great Britain.
Well, final score now for you. Ken Arthursson's President's 13 side have scored 24 points to Great Britain 16, so another loss to them. And the players down on the field congratulating themselves and each other for a win.